Hello everyone. How is everybody inside of the Dream Practice Facebook group doing today? I hope you guys are having an awesome day, as always. And yeah, here I am again on another live stream to help you guys out. I've really been enjoying doing these lately, so I thought I'd pop another one in today and just keep the energy moving forward in this group, keep everybody on the same page, and yeah, keeping us collectively evolving in the work that we're doing, right? So I mentioned earlier today inside of the group that I had kind of an interesting experience of somebody getting on my fan page basically, and a few of my live streams, and just kind of blasting out all these negative comments about about what I was doing, and just really kind of just toxic stuff that was being spewed out basically, and then I posted in the group about my experience with that, and you know, I know this is a big topic for people, and I wanted to share just a few thoughts with you guys, a few insights, just in real time here to help you out with this. So we're going to talk a little bit today about how to deal with haters or people that are just negative Nellies. They just downplay what you're doing, or they're just overtly rude or mean to you, because this is a big obstacle for a lot of the clients that I've worked with. Is you don't really want to face that. It's scary. It makes you feel some hesitation in putting yourself out there. And you know, if you want to chime in or give me a thumbs up or leave a comment about your experience with that, or if you can relate to that, by all means do, because I know it is an all-pervasive issue in our industry here. Before I do that, I want to mention one quick announcement about my new coaching program on Fire. There's an early registration discount. So you guys have probably seen me talking about this a little bit. I'm going to put a link below this video after this is over, where you can get all the details and check it out and learn all about it. But you have a few more hours if you wanted to get the $100 off for the program. So we have an awesome group already. I'm super excited about who's signing up and the quality of people that are doing this. And yeah, you know, it's really for people that are serious about their work. They're ready to take action. They are coachable. They're receptive to some training, some advice, and they're just ready to move forward, ready to make some changes in their marketing and their mindset, and really make this their best year ever in private practice. So if that is you, there's a darn good chance this program will be a good fit for you. And Charmaine, hi, hope you're doing well, and others who are joining right now, hope you're having an awesome day out there. So that was my big announcement. Let's talk a little bit about how to deal with haters, okay? And even more so, what I want to talk about is how to deal with your own self-consciousness, because that is the real issue at hand here. And what you want to make sure of in your practice is that you don't have one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas, right? And this is very, very common. A lot of us, and I know people that are attracted to what I do, they do have a big vision for their work. They're thinking multi-six figures or seven figures. They really want to see how far they can take this thing, right? Well, to get to that level of success in your business, there's a lot of savviness in the way that you structure your marketing and the way that you build a team around you. All of that is really important, but your mindset is critical in this way. Like if you have one foot on the brake in terms of you're always feeling like some reluctance, some hesitation to put yourself out there, and you're like, oh, I'm excited to go do this, like a new Facebook live stream or write this blog post or whatever it is, and there's this energy of like, yeah, go do it, and then you're like, oh, but wait, what if, you know, somebody says something crappy about this, or nobody cares, or it just isn't received as well as I would have hoped. And that mindset causes a lot of us to just hit the pause button on being super productive and putting out the right kind of energy and therefore action that is going to warrant generating that level of income in your practice, okay? So we have to get over this resistance of being self-conscious, of caring too much what people think, and overall I would define it as like a quality of timidity that I see a lot in this industry. We have some incredibly bright, exceptional people that are doing this kind of work, but when it comes to marketing and getting the spotlight and putting yourself out there, a lot of us have this kind of hang up about this where we're like, you know, if there's any way I can bypass all that, Kevin, teach me that stuff, because I don't know if I really want to do this. Now, this is all coming out of my experience as well, where I can totally relate to that hesitation or that timidity. Believe it or not, I was the guy growing up in school who literally did not say like one word through junior high and high school, and I had like horrible social anxiety disorder. I struggled a lot with depression in my early years, and yeah, I just didn't fit in. I did not fit into the public schooling system. I didn't know what to do there. I felt awkward, and you know, what I do now, where I'm doing live streams for you guys, and lately I've been getting thousands of people to watch my recent live streams, and really blowing up my brand across the internet, the thought of doing that even like 10 years ago it would have been the furthest thing from my mind. So my experience shows you how capable we are of reinventing ourselves, of adapting to new characteristics, new qualities that we want to embrace. My mentality now is like, look, if you own a business, you have to embrace the spotlight. If there's resistance towards that, or if you think you're like too introverted or too shy, or maybe even above putting yourself out there or marketing like that, I really think that's shooting yourself in the foot. It's a form of self-sabotage, and it's always workable. You can always find a solution internally by telling new stories, reframing your experience, so you can really find a way to do this and actually enjoy it. Now, if you're going to put yourself out there like this on social media or in any sort of video marketing, you don't want to do it in a way that's just rote or mechanical, or like, oh, this guy Kevin said I should go do these videos, so I'm going to go do them, I guess. I hope that does something good. You want to put your heart into it. You want it to be powerful. You want it, like when I do these things, I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy getting on here with you guys and helping you out for a few minutes, and hopefully that comes through to you. I have like a passion for doing this kind of stuff, and that is ultimately what gets people to want to work with you. It's not the mechanical, just like, the resistance that pops up and you're like, oh gosh, I guess I'll just, force myself and use all this willpower to get this done. Put your heart into it and be authentic, be powerful in the way that you present yourself, right? Now, if you do that, what you'll notice is if that kind of energy goes into your presentation and you're putting yourself out there on a site like Facebook, what you'll notice is you naturally start to care less what other people think about you. And this is actually my first tip in terms of how to deal with haters or getting negative feedback. And I kind of forgot to mention for you guys who are on right now, if you have questions, if you want to make this like an interactive thing, by all means, fire away with questions or comments or insights. I'd love to hear from you, okay? But that's my first tip is if you're going to put yourself out there, you will get some negative feedback. And especially if you're doing it kind of on the scale that I do it, where you're getting a reach of several thousand people every day, it is absolutely inevitable that you will get somebody saying something crappy on a few of your Facebook posts or wherever else you're marketing. It's just kind of the game that you're playing, right? But if you put in a really sincere, authentic, powerful energy, you go into it not really caring about that. And the less you care about that, what I've noticed is the less you'll attract it. Like for me, it happens a lot less than a lot of people I know or clients that I've had, because I generally just don't attract it because it's not kind of where I'm resonating in my life. I really don't care, and therefore I don't create it in my life because I don't think I have anything per se to learn from that a lot of the time. Sometimes I do. Sometimes people say things that are actually constructive and they're critical, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. But across the board, it's just not one of my triggers, I guess. I have others. We all do. But if this is a big trigger for you, the first thing that I want you to do is just clarify the kind of energy that you put into your marketing. Is it authentic? Is it powerful? Is it coming from like the real you, where you can feel that your power is activated in what you're saying and what you're doing? If you do that, you won't care as much. I promise you that. And what will actually start happening is when people do leave a negative comment, there's a part of you that actually kind of celebrates that as a win. Because if you're not getting any negative feedback, it often means like you're not polarized enough in the way that you're saying things. Excuse me. And get a little water. You're not eliciting enough of an emotional reaction out of your audience. And it's okay to be polarizing. It's okay to be controversial. It's okay to take a stand for an issue that you really believe in, even though a whole other contingent of the Facebook crowd is not going to agree with what you're saying, right? That's totally fine. And in fact, I think to a certain extent you should do that. You shouldn't be neutral. You shouldn't just kind of try to please everybody and just keep your message really tame, believing that's what it takes to create success. So in a sense, you want it when your energy is authentic, your power is engaged, you go into this kind of expecting a certain percentage of people to be their feathers to be ruffled by what you're saying. And yeah, I mean, some take that to the extreme and they're just jerks about it and they say just lame things, and it is what it is, right? But there's another percentage where they might say something critical or negative, but you can still leave that on your page, and it's constructive. It might be useful for you to engage in a dialogue with them. And it also might be useful for you to use it as a teaching moment for people that follow you on your page. That's also one of the ways I look at this, is if I think if the comment isn't overtly just horrid and negative, I might engage with that person a little bit more, not so much for my benefit, but for people watching that and like observing what's happening so they can see how I carry myself and what they might want to say in a similar situation, just to know it happens to me, it happens to everybody. So really it's a simple solution. You can either fundamentally focus on self-consciousness, on doubt, on timidity, or you can keep your focus on your excitement about getting out there and helping people and making the biggest impact that you possibly can. And you're going to be fundamentally aligned with one end of that spectrum or the other. Like I said, for many years, I was primarily on the kind of self-consciousness end of the spectrum, and I think a lot of people are in this industry. And it wasn't until I really kind of formally made that decision and conscious choice for myself to do whatever it took to get my mindset into the other end of the spectrum where it was much more empowered and I positioned myself more as a leader and I just stopped caring what people thought about me, that I had a much higher level of success in my business, right? So this is all energy. It's really all energy. And the energy you put out personally is going to attract back exactly what you need to hear and exactly where you're at in your consciousness and your belief system. So when you get haters, first of all, see if you can almost celebrate that a little bit, that you're evoking some sort of response out of people, even if it's negative and they took a moment to say something crappy, that there is something positive in that you're getting people to engage. Of course, we don't want a lot of that, but you guys don't have to worry about that. Everybody here in this group, just about from everybody I've seen, you have a lot of value to offer. You have so much that you can share with your audience that they're going to find tremendously helpful. And because of that, like, take a stand for that and know in your heart, like, look, there may be somebody that comes on my page and says something crappy, but I just know myself well enough at this point that I have great intentions. I'm not trying to pull a fast one on anybody. I'm not trying to say anything that I don't believe in my heart. Everything that I'm saying here is authentic and true to me. And as long as you do that, who cares what people think? Like, honestly, do you really care what somebody thinks of you on Facebook? Like, the other tip that I have for you actually is, when people say negative things on social media, it's actually not about you at all. It's entirely about them. Now, they may have a point sometimes about, if there's some constructive criticism in that could be self-reflected upon and you could learn from that. But by and large, negative feedback is a reflection of themselves and the way that they feel about themselves, and they're using you as a mirror and projecting their own kind of negativity onto you. So in a sense, instead of taking that personally and getting all wrapped up in it, it can be really helpful to switch that around in your consciousness. So you start to see them with an element of like compassion, empathy, realizing that for them to take the time out of their day and say something crappy to you, they have to be hurting inside. They have to be having pain inside of them to even take the time to do that. Like me, honestly, like it's not even like in my radar, like to ever do that to somebody, right? Even if I genuinely think what they're saying is crappy, I'm not going to take the time out of my life to go say something on Facebook that is going to undermine them or destroy them. I'm not going to do that. It's just not going to cross my mind because I don't carry around and harbor all these self-beliefs that would make me want to do that, right? So take that into consideration too. And when you get negative feedback, it's much more about them than it is about you. And that doesn't mean you can't learn from what they're offering you. There might be a teaching moment in there for you, but by and large, it has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. That can be like a breath of fresh air for a lot of us, where it gives us permission to take our foot off the brake and hit that accelerator with our marketing, to go out there and just get as much damn visibility as you possibly can and be relentless about it. Be super diligent about implementing at a very high level. The thing that really stops us from doing that is doubt and fear. And if you have the tools to clear that stuff out, you'll naturally find you want to hit the accelerator. You want to get out there and share your message and make the biggest impact that you can, because your focus isn't on you so much. It's on your audience. And it's also on your vision. It's on actualizing this vision you have for your work. And it's very clear to you that if you have your foot on the brake and you're locked in doubt and fear and you care too much what other people think, it is going to sabotage your success. It is going to hit the pause button on what you genuinely want in your life, right? So this is all a numbers game. Building a business is as much about visibility and getting enough people to become aware of you, whether they like you or not, as it is anything else, right? So that's my tip for you guys today. Focus more on how you help people and your passion for getting out there and making a difference in the world rather than on yourself and on your limiting beliefs and on the tendency to be locked into your own self-consciousness and over-analysis of things. And it's a choice. You have to see that's a choice. You can free up that energy at any moment, and then it's just practice. It's just getting out there and taking action and seeing what happens, seeing what people have to say about it. But yeah, being kind of neutral about it either way. If you get great feedback, cool. If you get negative feedback, okay. You're kind of just unattached. You're kind of in the middle the whole time. Like I did these 3 Facebook live streams recently, and we got a lot of comments. I got a lot of comments that were generally very positive, and people seemed to really like it, which is awesome. I was happy about that, but in a sense, it didn't really faze me that much. Like, it's not like I get all these positive comments, and now I'm like, well, geez, phew, what a relief. Now I feel great about myself. It's like I already kind of knew all that, and it's just kind of validating what's already inside of me. Does that make sense? That's a big difference from like turning to the outside world for validation and like trying to fill your cup from what other people are giving you in terms of feedback. So always maintain like a kind of equilibrium, a neutrality in the feedback you get from both sides. And this is also with your clients. If you get amazing results for one client and another client, nothing changes in their experience, or maybe they even get worse, God forbid, can you maintain that kind of equilibrium where your emotions don't swing all that much either way? And that doesn't mean you're numb or you're just like, robotic about it. It means there's a fundamental kind of composure and balance you have in yourself so that you prevent burnout. And it's ultimately about not being self-conscious. And just like, yeah, whatever happens in their experience with what I'm doing, I mean, I do the best I can, and I can't really control the outcomes, right? We can't really control what happens when we stick needles in people or we adjust them or we give them herbs or supplements. We can't really dictate what is going to happen to that person. All we really have control over is our reaction to it, our relationship with it. And one of the things that causes us a lot of burnout in these professions is we ride this roller coaster with our patients. When they get better, we're like, wee, this is awesome. When they don't get better or they stagnate, we're like, oh man, what am I doing with my life? This is really hard. And am I any good at this? Maybe I need to go take another $2,000 seminar, or read another 10 books, or spend another 80 years studying this stuff before I'm going to feel valuable in what I'm offering here. This is very, very common. So this whole issue of dealing with haters, on a more subtle level, it has a lot to do with these dynamics in your practice about these people don't hate you, but what happens when they don't get better? What happens when supposedly like negative outcomes occur or just neutral outcomes? They're not getting any better. You have all these emotions come up. What do you do with that, right? So you have to learn how to tell new stories. You have to get empowered. You have to see things in a new light and learn how to reframe and kind of restructure your energy around what happens. And be really passionate about doing that. Don't allow yourself to fall into victim mode with any of this, because that is going to burn you out. And if you're at 20 clients a week right now, and you really in your heart want to get up to 60 clients a week, what I'm talking about right now is just as important as marketing and getting more visibility. It's setting this precedent for your growth where what you're doing now, you're putting out this energy to life that says, I got it, man, I'm good. I can handle what I have in front of me. And because of that, I'm strong enough to go to the next level. There's like a precedent that's set that says, yeah, bring it on. I can triple this, and it's going to be cool. I'm not going to have like a nervous breakdown. I'm not going to be fried or burned out. And that is a big consideration in terms of how much success you actually have. Success with a capital S, how much money you make, yes, but also how much actual fulfillment you get from doing this work. Because when you get up to, and this depends on your industry, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 200 people a week, those are the tipping points where you can easily lose yourself and you just get into this rat race kind of fight or flight mode, and you just do it, you just run with it, but every day you're like losing a little bit of your resources, your innate energy, right? And you're just draining yourself. So you have to stay really clear with this and be present with yourself, take exceptional care of yourself in this process of building your business, okay? That's just as important as the marketing, as getting visibility, as setting up all these systems that I talk about. It's all interwoven into a big ball of, it either fundamentally gels and flows or it doesn't. So we, of course, want to get you on a wavelength here where things really genuinely are flowing for you. So I think that was it, you guys. Does anybody want to fire away with a question, or if this was helpful for you, give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. I would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, anything I can do with these live streams to keep you guys moving forward. If you have any other ideas about things you want me to be talking about, definitely let me know as well. And I'm happy to come in and contribute as much as I can. But yeah, fire away with any questions, thoughts, insights. I'm going to get a little water and we'll wrap it up if nothing comes in. And don't be self-conscious, you guys. Don't be shy. Cool. Anybody want to chime in and share anything? That'd be awesome. If not, we will part ways here. Was this helpful, you guys? Can I get a couple of you to just say yes, comment, like, thumb, heart, whatever, all that good weird Facebook stuff? That would be cool. Yeah. Cool. Tammy Lee and Jillian and everybody else who's joined, Charmaine, yeah, let me know where you guys are at in this process. I know for some of you guys even here with me right now, what I'm talking about is a heated issue. This is a big one for you. And the people that tend to be the most sensitive and have the most kind of general awareness tend to struggle with what I'm talking about here the most. So what we're trying to do is have your sensitivity, your awareness work for you as a business owner rather than against you, of course. So that is our goal. That is our mission here. Okay, well, I don't see anybody chiming in right now. No problem at all. I'm going to leave a link for my new program under this video. You have a few more hours if you want to join me and get the $100 off. That would be awesome to have you. And we will leave it at that, you guys. I am off to drive to Denver and hang out with my son and play some tennis for the afternoon. So onward and upward. Take care. All the best. Bye for now.